Now, for generations, Black women have always been unfairly discriminated against, judged, and stigmatized simply for the way they choose to wear their hair. This is in all spheres of our lives, such as our home, our work, our school, and yes, in our social environment. Believe it or not, if you choose to go on a date, your hair might make or break the deal. Welcome to Uncovering My Voice, the women's talk show where we will sit down and speak up. So today we want to talk about some of the experiences that we've had, some of the challenges and some of the stigmas that are associated with Black women and the way they choose to wear their hair. So today I have with me three beautiful women who I'm sure you will agree with me, all four of us, we epitomize what Black women can leverage in terms of uniqueness, creativity, and versatility in how we choose to groom our hair. We have Joan Williams. So Joan is a vice principal at one of Ontario's very popular public school. We have Jessica Morris. Jessica is a research development associate in a private sector, I think. And we have Tiffany Barrow, who is a hair guru. So welcome, ladies. Now, hair. Who would have thought that in this, 21st century, we're still talking about hair in a negative way? I mean, I just want to talk about, where did your hair journey start? How did you get going with your hair story?
Well, as a child, I had natural hair, and then I think my mom relaxed it at the age of 7.
7.
Yeah.
Age of 7.
Wow.
7, yeah. Because it was like, long and thick, and she had her hair to do my hair and my sister's hair. So it's like there was a lot, and she just needed to manage it better. And, the products we had back then are not the products we have now.
Okay.
And yeah, I relaxed it at a very young age, and then I learned to use a curling iron 12, 13. And so I used to do this, like the curls right in the front here, really long curls, high ponytail, until I singed it off. We'll talk about that later. It's another show. And then after that, I started going to the hairdressers.
Oh.
And so she would use the hot comb to flat iron. Like, she was like great with the hot comb. I don't even do that because that's just too much. It's too much pressure. But as I grew up, my trend, which I usually do, is either I'll relax it for a little bit and then I'll go natural. And I was doing that, and I'll cut off my hair and I'll start over again. I'll color it. So I've been in a cycle of things, and right now I'm in my natural phase. Do I think I'm going to relax my hair again? Probably not. But am I hooked on the natural hair? No, I'm just hooked on taking care of my hair.
Oh, nice.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's not like natural hair is better than relaxed hair or texturized hair or locks or, what have you, wigs. No, I just think everyone needs to take care of their hair. That's basically my journey in a nutshell.
All right.
Yeah. I guess for me, I've gone through different, cycles, not as many as Tiffany's, but I guess being an athlete, that's kind of where it started. Or before then, I did, what is it called? It's not a relaxer, but it's a texturizer. Yeah. And it was just to soften the coils and the curls in my hair, just to make it more manageable. But over time, by about grade 7 or so, I relaxed my hair for the first time. And I started swimming even more. I was swimming at least 3 times a week. The chlorine was hectic on my hair, plus the shampoo. Again, the products were not as good, not even the relaxed products or
Right.
was as good as they are now. So they would strip my hair, they would make it feel very limp and fried in a sense, yeah. And I actually went natural for the first time, transitioned when I was in grade 8. And yeah, that was another interesting story. We'll probably touch on that a little bit more. But I transitioned and then I relaxed my hair in grade 10. And then I've been wearing relaxers for another 10 years or more, and then I went natural again, and I haven't turned back since. So for me, just like Tiffany, it was more of me finding that I want to take care of my hair, and for me, having relaxed hair was not conducive to that. My hair did not like it. I have fine strands. I have thick hair, but fine strands. So having all of that chemical in my hair and then the burns and all of that, it was just.
It's the burn.
I remember the
Yeah,
burns.
it's the burn. I was done. I even have a story about my whole. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to
Yeah,
your
we'll
story.
touch on it.
We'll touch
But
on it. But I want to talk about a little bit about our hair as we were in elementary school. I remember, because I'm from a different generation from you guys, and I remember my hair there's a big thing about hair, and people used to use words like bumpy hair, short hair, but that was my time, and I thought that by now we would have gone past this stage. But Joan, you're in the school environment.
Okay, well, actually, just to continue on that, I have an experience as well that I would love to share as a kid growing up. And my hair was, they would say, tough, right? It was hard to comb through. And so to help with that, my mom would use a hot comb. So that would go on the
remember the hot
comb.
comb.
Yes. And so to straighten my hair. Now, back then, that's what everyone was doing, but it came with a lot of hurt. I would get burns too. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My ears would get singed.
I got yes, I got scars from that.
my mom was gentle.
But
Just a little.
But part of
Yeah.
it though, was a part of it because we needed to, why did we need to do our hair like that at such a young age? I started pressing my hair. We called it hot press.
Right.
I started pressing my hair from I was like, what, 8 or 9?
So you know why I think that comes from that we've all kind of used it, manage, right?
Manage.
We need to manage our hair. We need to be in control of it. And sometimes when you have thicker hair and or even if it's not thick, but it's just a lot of hair.
Yes.
Visually, it's like it looks like it's gonna take a long time, right? And when you got your hair done, most times people will say, "How long did that take?"
Yeah.
Because there's an underlining message that
Black
your
women
hair,
hair.
kinky hair, will take a long time.
Yeah.
And so to maximize our time, right? Our mothers were like, okay, well, Sunday's the day that I have the most time because apart from mothering, you have to be a wife and you got to be a coworker and a sister and a this. So it's like, how can I manage my time as best as possible? And I think that's all they knew at that time.
I wonder as well, we talk about manage the hair, but I wonder too if that was impacted by society and the whole,
Right.
mentality of,
Yeah.
oh, your hair is straight.
Yes.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's true. That's true because in my time, again, even though I am from rural Jamaica, we had a mix of cultures because we had the Chinese, we had the Indians, they were all there. And there was this kind of rush to be with these people because it changes the texture of your hair when you
When
have
you mean be with the people,
meaning get married to one of
Procreate.
these people or
Yeah.
have a child.
Yeah,
When we're
appear
having kids,
attractive
we
to them,
wanted to change how our child's hair is going to look. And I mean, I don't know if that's the case now, but that's used to be the case in
I have to say this because I actually have a client. It rocked my mind. She's an Asian lady. She has a child with a black man. And in her mind, she's like, automatically, my child will have soft curls.
Oh, but it didn't happen.
That was not the case, baby. That child had this thick hair, and she did not know. She has straight Asian hair, and she didn't even know how to manage that. So here
Yeah.
now, you have kinky hair. She doesn't even really do the child's hair. To be honest, like she struggles, and it's a struggle for
Yeah.
her. So now you got to tap into your community. You got to get the child in a place where they're able to like take on the combing out, the detangling and stuff like that. But this mindset that if you have children with someone who has, I don't even
Straight,
like
silky hair.
straighter hair or quote unquote better hair, your child will perhaps
Have prettier hair.
pretty hair, right?
Pretty hair.
Which is obviously their perception and sometimes society's perception, but really all hair, I believe, is beautiful,
That's
right?
good.
We're wonderfully
That's
and
where
beautifully
we are
made.
now, yes.
That's what the Bible says,
Yes.
right?
That's what.
I would want to mention also that this whole practice of styling our hair, whether it be in relaxers, jerry curls, weaves, all of the, I know the jerrys, right? Yeah.
I've been there too.
I've never had one, thank goodness.
been through it
I
all.
don't like the smell.
Yeah.
But all of these different styles, just as we think about fashion, all of this, we transition in and out of different ways of styling ourselves in terms of our clothing, but also our hair. So back then, the presses with the curl and press, even with, even how we wear wigs back then and what the shape of them and all of that were influenced by the time in which we lived.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
for sure.
So I wouldn't want us to forget that too, because even though there is a standard of identity and beauty and coupling and all of that, we also have to remember that like we're really just flowing with what was at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to jerk us forward to now in the workplace. So I have here this article that was written by Janice Gassam, and she outlined 4 biases that show up in the workplace. So we're all professionals, and we all have been in the workplace. One of the ones I wanted to highlight that she talked about is microaggression in the workplace. Simple things that they say to us. And I want us to see if we can associate with this, if we can relate to microaggressions in the workplace. People wanting to touch your hair, or people making comments when you come to work and like, you changed your hair again, and how did you do this to your hair? How do we have any kind of experience like this?
I do. And it's funny because not having been raised in an environment where I have to open my eyes and ears to how people relate to me on that level,
What environment were you raised
so
in?
I was born and raised in Jamaica until I was in my mid-teens.
Okay.
And we were surrounded, as Koren mentioned, by all sorts of different races and cultures, but the color of my skin, the texture of my hair for me wasn't a factor that impacted my life personally.
Right.
Other than it being probably hard to manage at some point. But in terms of it really being a microaggression, that didn't happen until just probably last year.
Okay.
So
Uh-oh.
now my workplace, I love my workplace. I love the people there. And so a part of me was kind of ignorant, but a part of me, because I love my workplace and I love the people that I work with, I didn't right away recognize it as a microaggression. And so, so when I interviewed for the job, this was years ago, I went to the interview with braids, but I tucked it back and all of that. And I don't know if they noticed or whatever, but I go through different periods depending on how I feel,
Right.
of how I want to style my hair. Right now, you see me in braids because it's easy to manage this way. I don't need to get up and comb my hair
That's
and do
right.
all of that stuff. It's protected for
Hence
me.
my wig, I'm saying.
Yeah, so we were preparing for an inaugural webinar at my workplace, and so we were planning and we are all excited about it. And a part of what we were doing was to collect pictures of all the leaders of the different teams and groups or whatever. And we wanted to put that in our marketing PowerPoint that we would use at the webinar. And when my picture came up and we were just going through the presentation and all of that, the hairstyle that I had, because now we're in a pandemic, when I'm at home, I'm either in braids or my hair is in plaits, some kind of protective style. And the picture that was given was a picture of me. Well, I don't know if they know it was a wig, because sometimes they don't actually recognize that it's a wig. But it was I had long and I had a little bit of highlights and all of that. And one of the persons said to me, it was a British lady, Caucasian. She said, and she laughed and she's like, hopefully they'll be able to recognize you at the webinar, because obviously the picture that they've given versus the video from the webinar with me with my camera on might look slightly different. I don't know. So I said, well, I'm sure they'll recognize me. It's the same face. And I kind of laughed it off and I continued. But when after the meeting was done and I told my girlfriends, they were like, yeah, that's a microaggression. And I actually had to Google it because I didn't actually know exactly what it meant.
Yes.
But I felt so bad about it. So that's my
right.
experience. And they encouraged me to communicate with her that that's not okay.
Yes.
But even after that, and then she felt embarrassed. That, that's not her intention to make me feel uncomfortable.
It's never their intention.
And
though.
this isn't the first time that she said stuff. So in previous meetings, she'd be like, oh, you changed your hair today. And, say something about my hair. Yeah. And it was a few times leading up to
And these are
this
things
webinar.
that only black women,
Aye.
only black women
Only.
hear.
Yeah.
These are directed only to black women.
Right.
Yeah.
So she said to me, her thing
Sorry.
was saying just, she's apologizing. She didn't want it to be something to make us make me feel uncomfortable. And she was just exclaiming of how versatile my hair was. But when you do it among a group of white men,
right,
it definitely makes me feel uncomfortable.
Of course.
Even if her intention was pure.
Good for you to call that out. Good for you to call that out.
So I will share my experience because I'm aware of, the microaggressions. So as I was transitioning from perming to locks, I lost some hair in the process. But I wasn't ready to I was the only black person working in that environment. So I was not ready to answer all the questions about my hair. So I wore a wig. So, I masked it by wearing a wig. I didn't like the wig because I couldn't wait to take it off at the end of the day. Sometimes, as soon as I went into my car, it was off my head. So I hated it.
But you just felt like you needed.
I felt it was a safe thing to do just to avoid the questions that would come at me about my hair. Now, I don't care.
Right.
So it's a journey, and
Has anyone ever talked about your hair
No.
in terms of negativity or whatever? Okay.
So would
No,
you
because you
think
prevented that.
Yes, I knew.
You were a step ahead.
Yes. So, unfortunately, we get through to that place where we mask. However, we evolve and we get over that.
I feel like for me, the wig is a safe thing for me as well. I've had a lot of microaggressions on my hair at work and even at school. And I presently work as a teacher, so kids come up to you and it's not so bad now, but kids come up to you sometimes and they're like, they want to touch your hair, depending on what level of school you're at and so on. They want to touch your hair. They want to know, oh, your hair's pretty today. Oh, I prefer if I've worn my natural hair to work and then I wear a wig and they come up to me and they're like, I prefer this hair, which is the wig, which means they don't really like my natural hair. But yeah, that's how it is.
I have an experience of microaggression, not in the office, but I feel like it's just in my life, like
Yes.
period.
Yes.
And I had to sit there and think about what the microaggressions were because of your story.
Yes.
But a lot of the time, for my entire life, I've had people want to touch my hair.
Yep. Yep.
And it is.
Well, what is this?
It's. So I will say this: it is the BIPOC community and BIPOC, right?
BIPOC.
Right. So Asian, Indian, Black, right?
Yes.
So it's some of us
Yes.
that are intrigued. I don't know why, but they just want to touch my hair.
And that's invasion of your space right there.
It's huge invasion. I remember I was starting hair school and I had a weave-in at the time. And I have a friend, she's Asian, really nice person. But she's like, oh, I can't wait till you take this weave out because I want to touch your hair. And it was such a strong desire for her to touch it. And I'm like,
I'm going to keep this weaving much longer.
yeah, it's so interesting
here.
because I always say this in my head, like, this is not a museum. I am not an artifact that you need to, touch and you want to explore. But I also thought, okay, she clearly does not have a Black friend.
Yeah.
You do not have it. You have not experienced it. So you're just trying to, as a hairstylist, right?
Hopefully by now she's experienced with
Hopefully,
Black friends
but it's like there's this weird desire for people to want to touch my hair.
Did you ever ask why they wanted to touch your hair?
No, but I remember one of my good friends actually, when I used to wear it in an afro for a short period because that was a little bit traumatizing. She touched it and she's like, oh, it's soft. And I thought to myself,
What do you mean?
Yeah.
did you think you were going to touch a Brillo pad? Like,
misperception we have here. It's totally misperceived.
Yeah.
They want to know if what they're thinking is actually what they're thinking.
right. It's just,
Yeah. Okay, I just want to bring the conversation over to church. We're all Christian women. Have you ever experienced any negative, expressions or any discriminatory stories about your hair in the church?
Yes.
Yes?
I have like 2 quick stories.
Yes.
One time I went to church. I usually do the shingling method, so it was natural, and I usually put gel in it to bring out the curls.
Yeah.
And so I remember going to church with this big tub of olive oil gel, Eco Styler, and I was going to go to the bathroom downstairs and do it quickly in the bathroom. Then I'm like, Tiffany, stop your foolishness. Go in the church. So I had my fro. So I walk in, everyone's giving me the power to the people sign. I was like, what? And then I went downstairs. This is March. Went downstairs. This is what struck me. It was a guy who's like our age. And he looked at me. He's like, it's not even Black History Month. So why is your hair like that?
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
What?
And
What?
this is a Black guy.
it's a Black guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I told you,
Wow.
Yeah.
we have to be careful what hairstyle you wear
Yeah.
on a date. You might
Right.
make or break the deal.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I remember singing in a choir, and we were doing like a Gaither style on stage. And I want to say this lady's leg was broken, but I cannot remember for sure. And I had my hair like, it must have been up. I don't think it was like crazy big. But during the practice, she said, excuse me, can you please make sure your hair's like blow dried or like lowered? Because I can't see the director.
You've got to be
Said-
kidding me.
I was clutching my invisible pearls because I'm like,
You've
no one's
got to be
ever
kidding me.
said that to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this was on the choir.
This is on the choir. Yeah. So
Mm-mm.
I was like, Tiffany, you can be so mean and knock her off her good foot. But You could also just like, and I feel
Did you
bad.
just whisper a prayer?
No, the next day I actually did do something that was like, you know, that wouldn't block her vision, but I did feel away.
Yeah.
I felt away.
Of course.
I felt away.
Yes, because
Because if you had two good feet, then you could have stood up and
your
sing.
nice good
Yeah.
puff,
Right.
and
Yeah.
now
It was crazy.
she's making it negative.
And then one last story, because this always gets me too. My sister has softer, curlier hair.
Yes.
And I remember I was either in grade 12 or like a year out in university. And I was walking through a corridor in the church, and this lady turned to me and said, "Oh, wow, you look so beautiful. You're almost as beautiful as your sister." Oh, God. Last story. This other lady, I cut my hair. I had cut my hair. It was short and curly. It was cute. I was feeling myself. And then she said, "Oh, don't worry. You're still pretty." That's it. I have more, but we don't have time.
No,
child.
Tiffany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
a lot
God.
of people say some
I'm
wild
very
stuff.
Can I just
sorry.
say something about Tiffany and her hair? She's got it going on. I always call her Rapunzel
Thank you.
because like she'll cut her hair tomorrow and by next week it's down
And
her back.
yeah.
So and I've heard some of these stories before and it actually angers me. And to think that somebody at church would actually say that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's better to just not say anything.
I don't know. Maybe it's
And
ignorance. I don't know.
It could be ignorance.
be
It could
ignorance.
just be somebody just not having proper manners.
Right.
I'm
So-
always tickled by the persons who are Black people who probably themselves have the same kind of hair, but they say these things without even thinking.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience? at
Well,
church?
I would say it's positive. I get a lot of compliments about my hair.
That's nice.
So,
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's good. And we've come a far way because I remember the days when block was not a thing in my church in Jamaica. And even wig and weave, all these things. Because when I got baptized, I had to cut my hair off because I was not allowed to perm. I was not allowed to jerry curl. And I had perm in my hair. I had to wear my hair ugly and be the way they wanted me to be. So I'm very excited to know that in this generation, 21st century, we are more welcoming, we are more accepting of our hair and who we are.
And to your point about that too, I mean, to your question as well, for church, like I will say I've never really felt pressured one way or the other about my hair. I don't know if I've gotten multiple uncountable compliments about my hair, about my hairstyles, whatever. I do get compliments sometimes, but for me, I will say that church is probably one of the only places that I feel the most comfortable to wear my hair however I choose.
That's awesome.
And so I'm happy about
Good
that.
place, a safe place,
Yeah.
church, house of God. Hopefully Tiffany will start having some of these positive.
My Rapunzel friend.
Yes. Hopefully Tiffany will
Yeah.
get a change in her experience with her hair at church. I
It
actually love your
around.
hair.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
did
it's
I
turn.
love your hair.
Beautiful.
I love
Yeah.
all
Turned
your
around.
hair.
Thank you.
I love all your hairs. So ladies, as a parting word, how can we share with the viewers? How can we become confident with our hair and how we choose to wear our hair?
I definitely believe that is something that is mental and personal. Like, you have to be confident in yourself. You cannot listen to social media. That has to come from inside.
Right.
Because so many people are going to have so many comments about your hair, whether it's positive or negative.
Yes.
And so you just have to have that confidence, knowing that you are who you are. Your hair does what it does, and the best you can do is just maintain it. Yeah, and groom it.
Just in addition to what you're saying about having the confidence, we need to get to that place where we're not identified by our hair or the color of our skin. And I'll share with you one experience as I was preparing to move along my professional journey. And so when I was preparing for the interview, one colleague shared with me, actually she was giving me advice. And
This is
so
a Black colleague.
a Black colleague. And so her advice was, make sure you groom your hair properly, right? And going into the interview, because not everyone is ready.
Wow.
They're not ready?
What? They're not ready, right? They're not accepting of the locks.
Wow.
And so my reaction was, Well, if they're not ready for my locks, I don't think they're ready for me.
And
Oh,
that's it.
good for
So
you, Joan.
That's
I was
it.
at that place where I was comfortable.
Yes.
Right? And so
Confident.
we have to get to that place where we're confident and not have society determine how we
Yes.
present ourselves and how
Right.
we groom our hair
I love
or
that.
the styles that we wear.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
And to that we can close. I'm just joking. No, I really don't have anything more to add to that. It's all about self-love and accepting
Yeah.
yourself
Yes.
as who you are and what you have.
Right.
You only get one body. You only get one kind of hair.
Yes.
It's not going to change.
No.
So love yourself. And then on top of that too, if you choose, it's whether you choose, not influenced by anybody else.
Yeah.
If you choose to style your hair a certain way, then be happy and satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else tell you how to
And if
do your
today
hair.
you don't feel like wearing your hair in the natural
Yeah.
way, you feel like wearing a wig, wear your wig. Wear it with pride. If today you feel like putting your braids in, put your braids in.
Right.
And wear it with pride. If today you feel like curling your hair with your gel, curl your hair with your gel. And walk in confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is one thing with us as Black women. We have the creativity to whip our hair back, and yes, we can
Whip
be
our hair.
flexible. We can whip our hair back and forth, whatever style we want to do. We can be creative in that, and that in itself is something that we can be confident about.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, unfortunately, we have come to the end of this discussion. I'm sure you would agree with me. Very thought-provoking. Lots of information here for us. So, ladies, I want to thank you for joining me today to share all this experience. I'm sure people are going to be very excited to listen to all you have to say. I just want to encourage you as you go to just be confident in who you are. Because in the end, no matter what the distractions, no matter what they have to say, it is who you are that matters. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this discussion, and if you have a comment, be sure to leave it in the comment section. And we will be putting some information on our hair guru, Tiffany. So if you want to contact her, you may also do so. Thank you so much. Have a great day.